politician, I gotta do what I gotta do. That's for my fish, like in my face. I gotta do what I gotta do. I pray to God, he never came. I'ma do me, I'ma do me. That's in my blood, I'll never change. That's in my blood, I'll never change. That's in my blood, I'll never change.
It is the 8:05 post show from the Billabong Pro Pipeline, and we got a lot to unwrap for you. This guy, Sammy Pupo, he's going to join his brother Miguel in the quarterfinals on opposite sides of the bracket. It's been a big day for the Pupo family. Well, you know what? It's been a big day in surfing as a whole. Welcome, I'm Kaipo Guerrero. This is my friend Ross Williams. And this, my friend, Strider Wazalewski, who I have deemed the MVP of the commentary team today for his water reporting. I want to hear about it today.
I'm just coming down off a massive adrenaline rush right now, to tell you the truth. Taking in all of that, all that emotion, all that energy, all the people, all those stories, just going through it. I was just wave after wave, heat after heat. You know, I mean, just Motown. Guys were just getting thrashed out there. Watching my buddy Kelly Slater get run over by a 25-foot A-framing just vortex on his forehead. It was just radical, Ross. I mean, you've been out there. It is just one of those things. It's unexplainable, and I am just flying off of that entire day.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty gnarly conditions out there. I mean, if you think back to 7:30, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, it was just nice and peachy out there. There's some fun little backdoor waves, and you look at it now, and it's just mayhem behind us. It's washed through, so kudos to Surfline. They kind of nailed it.
Yeah, and it all set up our quarterfinals for final day here at the Billabong Pro Pipeline. And let's take a look at this, guys. First of all, Kelly Slater, his triumph over Baron Mamiya to get that slot was legendary. He's going to be meeting up against Kanoa Igarashi.
That was next level. I think Kanoa is a fierce competitor, though, and he's had Kelly's number. Kelly actually talked about it in his interview, that he couldn't wait to surf against him.
He wants a piece of Kanoa.
Yeah,
Kanoa, you're right, he is feisty. So I think Kelly would like to beat him for sure.
Miguel Pupo, Luca Messinas, your thoughts, Ross?
Yeah, I mean, that is a gnarly heat. I think Miguel's definitely the smooth cat of the event so far. He's been styling through barrels, making it look easy. So in my mind, Miguel's a pretty heavy favorite.
I'm going to take this one. Seth Moniz, John Florence. John's been absolutely on fire, but Seth Moniz, the young Hawaiian's got a lot of fire in his belly too. So I'm almost calling that an evenly matched quarterfinal number 3. Strider, Kyle Belly, and Sammy Pupo.
You know what? We just saw Sammy go out there and silence probably a lot of critics. It was giant out there, and he had his head down. He was charging. He was getting barreled. He's having a blast out there. He had a smile on his face. He got wrecked and came back out every time and was in the driver's seat. So my hat's off to him. Kyle Belli was all out executing and nuts and charging and really putting it down and filling that wild card space really well. So that's going to be a tough one for Sammy. I think Kyle is going to take him.
I got a hats off to Sammy Pupo. He's going to be my pick, and Sammy's down on the beach with Rosie Hodge.
Wow, just incredible. Sammy Pupo, rookie on tour. Talk to me about overcoming fear, because you looked fearless out there, but standing here, you tell me that you were scared. How do you overcome that?
It's just, for me, it's always been about competing. You know, whenever the heat is on, I know I have to go on the waves if I want to, get to my goal. So I was super scared, but when the wave came, I have to go, and I know I have the technique to make the barrel, so I was just win and happy.
That self-belief going a long way, but talk to me about being in the quarterfinals of your first ever championship tour event. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, it's unbelievable for me, because this is supposed to be my hard, part of the tour, the toughest stop for me here at Pipe. Never really had a lot of time here in Hawaii, so to get a quarterfinal straight away is pretty fun, and just looking forward to the rest of the event.
And lastly, let's just talk about what happened in that heat, because you took a couple beatings. How do you regain composure after that?
It's hard. It gets a lot of training. I train really hard to get here, and I was so tired after I broke my board, and it was so tough for me to take a little time to breathe and wait for another wave, and the wave came. I knew Jordy was super he could have got a score until the last second. So I was just hoping the waves didn't come, and it all happened. Nice.
Great day for you into the quarterfinals. Well done.
Thank you.
I like it. Sammy Pupo. So Ross, I'm looking towards you as a coach. I think that I don't want Sammy to be satisfied with the quarterfinals right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to keep marching forward for sure. You know, you just don't know how the year is going to pan out. There is that halfway cut after the 5th event, so you got to put the pedal to the metal. That's kind of what we touched on, though, during that heat. I was like, this kid's learning on the fly. It's really hard to free surf out here and grab a wave in practice, so kudos to him. He did it.
Strider, you know what? I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility, the way that the brackets are right now, that Miguel and Sammy can be in the final together. What do you think about that?
Well, that would be obviously an all-time dream for the Pupo family. They deserve the world because of their heart and their style and their smooth ability, which I'm just, my hat's off to both of them. There was a great life lesson that, you know, I saw out there within Sammy Pupo. You either smile or you cry.
Wow.
And he smiled right through it. It was insane. And, you know, that's just something that it's a life hack almost. You know, you have to take a different road. If you sit back and cry, oh, I can't do this, you're gone. We just saw Sammy Pupo rise to the occasion, smile through it, and go.
Love it, Strider. Love it. Well, heat number 1 of the round of 16 was one for the record books. Kelly Slater and Baron Mamiya. This was a battle, Ross.
Yeah, and it's insane. I mean, Baron, the youngster from Hawaii, had Kelly on the ropes. And Baron's definitely one of the guys with the most talent in this draw for pipe. I mean, he handles this wave like it's a little toy, you know, and Kelly hung in there. And again, I had so much, I was so impressed with Kelly that he passed up that second wave because Kanoa went on it in the other heat. And actually, you know, had potential, but he waited for that buzzer beater and got this thing right here. And he surfed it to perfection. And he had that little flare at the end, that little signature that Kelly always has. Even that claim was just perfect. But it was unbelievable. There's literally 3 seconds left on the clock when he took off on his bad boy.
What was that like from the water?
You know what? It was a moment just to be, you know, right before this. Dave Wassel was out there, a lifeguard on the beach here, and he said, "Hey, is Baron gonna beat Kelly Slater right now?" And I said, "There's still a couple of seconds left on the clock. You better check yourself." And literally, that wave came in. I was like, I looked back at him, and he looked at me, and he was like, this is going to happen. And we watched Kelly take off on that wave, and it was just incredible the way that, you know, everything looked like, okay, maybe he's going to get the score. But at the end, when he opened up, took his hands out and opened everything and just said, yeah, this is me. To watch him come out of the tube like that, I think that just gave him the check mark.
You never count them out when they're goats. Whether it's Tom Brady, whether it's Kelly Slater, they play till the final second. And that was absolutely incredible. Another great heat. We got to talk about it. Florence-Chianca and John Florence. Ross, what a battle this was.
Yeah, and a super physical heat for John, too. I think he caught like 7 or 8 waves, broke a board, paddled back out twice. So, you know, John put a lot of effort into this heat. We talk about how talented he is out here, but he puts a lot of time at pipe, and it showed in his heat. You know, he really willed his way through it.
You know, from the screen, you know, on your screens watching this from home, it's just so hard for it to translate to really know how incredibly massive and how much water is moving around out there, you know, compressed into the screen. There is just a football field of water moving across the reef out there, and you can kind of get an idea there, but Chianca stepped up in my book, and I see a great rivalry happening, and I see, you know, it's an unexpected thing, right? You expect it from John, but for Chianca to press and push somebody to the ropes and you know, give John a run, I think it's an insane look into who Chianca really is.
Yeah, just take a look at the numbers here. 17.77 for Florence, 16.7 for both surfers, surfing an excellent heat.
Yeah, and he was really close to taking John out. You can remember in the last few minutes, he took off on that white watery wave, and it was really big and chunky. He had gnarlier waves than John, John just surfed to perfection with the stalling and all the little subtleties that John does, but Chianca had the gnarliest waves in that heat. His barrel was just a touch short in that backup score, and that was the difference.
Well, that was nerves of steel from John, because I was sitting, I saw that wave come through, and I was like, that could almost be the score, you know, but it backed off and had a nice big barrel, but it was a shorter barrel, and I think John identified that and said, okay, you can have this one.
Well, Joao had priority too. Like they had paddle battles twice in that heat. And,
it flipped over to him at that point?
That was why John gave him that wave. Because
wow,
otherwise,
I didn't even
John
know. That's
went.
so heavy.
Yeah, gnarly.
So much action today. So much action. Well, I mean, with all the action, we're going to have an epic top 5 in the 805 post show. The 805 post show is not over. When we return, we're going to review those top 5. .805 post-show Billabong Pro Pipeline, and we are back from an epic day and the celebration, rightfully so. Ross, the claims.
I mean, these are the kind of waves where these are 100% natural claims. No manufactured, like, give me that 4.8 claim. This is like, holy moly, I just survived claim all day long, Strider.
Yeah, this one right here, I thought he was going to run me over. I was like, oh, I couldn't even see him. I just put my hand up. I was like, that was rad. It was just incredible. Look at Slater.
Little Jesus claim.
You're getting excited.
He wants money. He wants money and points right there.
Give it to me. Yeah, Sammy, that was sick.
That was, and you know what? Like you said, not a manufactured claim. No. That's like a true feeling of executing. No. And Strider even surviving some monsters out there.
Yeah, you know, there really is a massive adrenaline high that these guys are getting out of each and every wave. And some of those body claims and some of that stuff, they don't even know what they're doing. They're just like, you know, and it's just warranted, and you're trying to let some of that energy back out that you just took in. It's incredible.
It's a lot of people's pet peeve when someone goes like, after like a little grindy 4.8, some beach break, and it's like, come on, dude. You're obviously selling it to the judges, but today was the opposite of that. It was like pure emotion.
I'm saying it was a celebration, you know, and as we celebrate, we got the top 5 today that we should look into as a celebration, just to put a bow on it today. Our top 5 moments, and it's all going to start here. And number 5, Carlos Munoz put it all on the line, Ross.
Yeah, I mean, poor guy, too. He had a rough day, although he did get a solid result, Kaipo, but popped his shoulder out. But look at the difference, Strider. It is like night and day, the conditions from this morning and now.
Yeah, right there you see his arm pop out. Oof, that is a lot of pain. Done that before, and My hat's off to him. You know, it's an existing injury from before, actually.
Number 4, the buzzer beater by Luca Macinas.
Wow.
And
Is that brother?
That's
that
brother.
is
That's
actually
Kolohe.
brother. Yeah, he was versus Kolohe and Dino. Here's Luca Macinas.
Yeah, and he had himself a pretty crazy day too. Had the water to himself, a huge pipe. So pretty rad day for Peru though, representing well.
On the beach when he got the news, and he took off on the final second of that heat. Number 3, Miguel Pupo battles his way into the quarterfinals.
Beautiful surfing from Miguel, super smooth and just on fire against this man right here, Italo Ferreira. I just you would not think that Italo's gonna lose out on a day like today. He's just so go for it. He's always in the spot, but because of that, right there, and the way that Miguel executed some of the most insane surfing out there, dropping out of the sky, beautiful work by Miguel.
That was one of my favorite waves of the day. That was so insane.
Number 2, the battle of nines between John Florence and Joao Chianca.
And again, this was, John manufacturing, stalling, surfing, just displaying his talent in really gnarly waves. And then Joao got in the mix of some crazy ones. His wave was a little more gnarly and square than John's, but you're not going to be able to deny that kind of talent right there.
It was incredible, the form that he had out there. That wave was so heavy from the water, and watching him stick it back on the foam ball was just next level. But this stuff is just, oh, come on, Ross.
This is a cave, so square, and it was touch and go. It was like a gnarly ride that he got really high, had to grab his rail and kind of yank it underneath that. Almost cut John's head off with his fins right there as he kicked out, but look how square that is. And by the way, you guys, this is the highest score of the whole event.
You know what? Chianca was riding a 6'4", so it's a couple inches shorter than what John was riding, so it was interesting to see him out on a smaller board.
Number 1, you never count the GOAT out even with seconds on the clock. The buzzer beater by Kelly Slater.
The old GOAT, about a week away from turning 5-0, is just still turning on the magic. It's pretty insane, Strider.
I mean, you know what? The magic happens because of a relationship and a tempo with a wave, and he's got it with Pipeline. And I think it was insane to watch that play out.
I agree with you.
I just want to say one thing about Kelly. You know, I think it's so interesting for all of the world of sports that this guy could win a CT event at age 50. I mean, this really could happen. Not to mention he could squeeze into the top 5 and have a chance for a world title at lowers. And now we're talking like a little bit more of a long shot because the younger guys are so gnarly with performance surfing. But when you come to places like Pipe and even Tahiti and G-Land and all these waves on the schedule, Kelly's gnarly and he's 50. I mean, this guy could get a discount at the store. He's so old.
Well, you know Kelly. And Ross, do you feel like this is the kind of momentum builder for Kelly Slater?
I do. And, you know, the good thing about Kelly, or one of the interesting things about him, is he spent a couple months in Florida for the first time in a couple of decades. And so I think he came to Hawaii later than he's ever come. Usually he's here from November, December, and you know, he just got here like 10 days ago. So he's really relaxed, and this is a different kind of Kelly.
But he's also just getting his sea legs.
Right.
And the interesting thing is like, I don't know, a lot of people, if it's like this for you guys, but you know, you haven't surfed for a while, you get back in the water, it takes you a second, but all of a sudden you feel like you're on fire. You have a new vigor from that experience, and I feel like that's what he's got. I feel like today we saw him step up into the Kelly that we're kind of used to, and that's what was a pleasure. For us to watch.
He does well that way. Remember, he woke up at like 7:30 this morning, and he was on our surfers text thread saying, hey, we should wait like an hour, because homie was like probably still making a smoothie at home. So
he did petition that, for the event.
He did, so he came to Hawaii late. He showed up this morning late, but this is how Kelly works. This is his comfort zone.
Yeah, it would be an incredible feat. 1992 was his first pipe title, and he's had 7 of them. And he looks like he's in the running right now. Yeah. But we're going to find out more when we resume to competition. Ross, Strider, thank you. Enjoy the highlights. Check worldsurfleague.com if we're going to run tomorrow. Aloha.
I think Pipeline's going to turn on today. Big action, heavy, gnarly. Yoo-hoo!
Here we go, Kelly Slater, backdoor, plenty of room. Wait for it, there he is, coming out.
He can't help himself, can he? Back in the barrel, backdoor. That one was for the love.
Get ready, surf fans. The Italo show is about to begin.
What would you call that haircut? Is that like a low tide mohawk?
Yeah, Italo starts it off going right, driving through a beautiful backdoor barrel.
He's going to stall against Shaq again. Can he punch out? Yes!
Italo advances through another tough heat.
Awesome, dude.
We've seen some pretty high numbers so far today. The buzz on the beach tells us that throughout the entire day, things are just going to escalate from here on out. But watch out, backdoor happening. Incredible surfing from Florence-Chianca. Taking out event favorite Jack Robinson.
Love you, throw the heart, pancake flip.
John Florence, style master, technique master.
8.5 for this wave, one of the highest scores we've seen today.
Last few years I've had some breaks. I'm stoked, yeah, and I'm training harder, so I'm trying not to get hurt again.
Sammy Pupo again, no-hander.
Wow.
Right off the bottom.
Welcome to the championship tour. This is your job now, getting barreled at perfect partner. What makes you so comfortable out here?
Well, I'm not comfortable.
Quick look at Jordy, late drop, straight into the pit, and comes out after the spin. All eyes are now on Slater.
There's 26 seconds of anything can happen with Kelly Slater.
Here we go, Kelly Slater looking for a 7-1-8. The goat doing goat things, blasting through.
Massive Kelly Slater, a 9-2-3. And he goes to first.
I can't even explain it. Like moments like this with waves like that against competition like Barron. I don't know how many more times moments like that are going to happen for me in my lifetime.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.